1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 mic check. Wait, hold up. 1 2 1 2. Yes, sir. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Will be nice and clear. Sounds clear to me, baby. Yeah. Let this ride out for a second. I like this one right here. Give him a minute to come in and pull up a chair. Make yourself nice and comfortable. You heard? Pour yourself a nice beverage or something. Do what you gotta do. Because we're gonna go in a little bit on this. Not too long, but not too short. But we're gonna get a little input in on this situation. We gotta touch this real quick. See who we got in the chat right here. We got T. Roney Robinson in the building. On the remote now. What up, T. Roney? You know what it do. That's my co-host on the Sunday Night Smoke Show. Y'all know who that be. Big up to T. Roney. Hey. Yeah. Got a couple of special guests in the building today. We're gonna jump this off real quick. You heard? See who else we got coming in here. Always got to make it a minute fashionably late. You know what I'm saying? Just enough time to get the strike on the music. As usual. You know what I mean? That's business as usual around here. But let's see. TJ, got you. I see you, T. I see you. Hang tight, my man. Hang tight. We here. Know what I mean? I see you. I just usually give it a minute for people to find parking. You know what I mean? 1 2 1 2. Happy Friday, everybody. This is your host, Ace World, pulling up with another exciting episode of Secondhand Smoke Show. All right. We doing what we do as usual. Just pulling up rush hour time. So for those tuning in, big up to Haps TV. Big up to those tuning in on YouTube. Those listening on Blog Talk Radio. My pleasure. Thanks for coming in. Spending a little time with your boy, just covering the topic. We're gonna just shoot over real quick. The phone lines are open as usual. 515-602-9602. Today's special episode. Let's see what we got in the bag today. We got WEEDIES. Athletes and THC / performance enhancers and or unenhancers, right? So I want to introduce my two guests today we have in the building. We have TJ the Prodigy in the building. Let me introduce you first. What's up, TJ? How you doing, big brother?
Yo, what's up, family? What's up, everybody?
TJ the Prodigy.
Smoke as always. What's causing all this smoke, man?
Listen, we gonna find out. We're gonna get to the bottom of this in a second. Let me introduce my other guest, Coach Todd Bascom. Wait, before I get into my second guest, TJ, let the people know who you are for those that are not familiar with TJ the Prodigy. Give us a brief, give us your sports, particularly your sports. We'll get into everything else later on the outro, but in the intro, give us your background in sports and athletics.
Okay. So I'm a pro wrestling trainer from Chicago, Illinois. Here, I've been a wrestling fan since I've been 7 years old. Grew up during the Attitude Era, but on my show, Me and my guest host, who's from the Bronx, JoJo, we cover MMA and pro wrestling and occasional boxing, usually the celebrity boxing with the Triller. So that's what we usually do. But man, I'm honestly evolving beyond wrestling and doing like a Joe Rogan's of sorts where it varies topic to topic. We handle everything from politics to sports and anything in between. And we usually have guest hosts on, Smoke is usually on, like rotating guests, and we just have a good time. And we all about building community and getting everybody on and all us making money out here. That's what it's really about.
That's what it do. Easy to product. I'm gonna introduce my all right, we got Rochelle Smith in the house. How you doing, Rochelle? Thanks for pulling up. Ted Hicks in the building. What's up, Mr. Hicks? The Boogie Down Bronx, BX. Yeah, that's where his one of his co-hosts is from. Yeah, the BX. Let me get into the let me introduce my next guest for this evening, Coach Todd Bascom. Todd, you hear me, sir?
I got you. Yeah.
All right.
I got you.
Coach Todd Bascom in the house. Give him a little warm welcome. Give us your background in sports, Mr. Bascom. Tell them what you
I'm a former high school and college athlete. I currently coach high school soccer and under U16 hockey.
Nice. There you go, sir. Sounds good to me. All right. So, with no further ado, the reason why we're here, we're going to talk about. I'm going to play a clip first, and then I'm going to get some opinions and some feedback, and let everybody know, and let everybody get get their opinion in on this. We're going to go into the talk of the town. Of course, obviously, I'm always late to the party, but I like to give time for the for everything to unpack a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we're going to go into the Sha'Carri Richardson story, the up and coming fastest woman in the world, right? Allegedly had some issues where she tested positive for THC, but I'm not going to tell you the story. I'm going to pretty much go into the I'm going to play a clip courtesy of WABC News, and I'll get right back to you guys in a minute after we hear this, okay?
It was supposed to be an introduction. It's Sha'Carri Richardson, the fastest woman in the United States, 21-year-old Sha'Carri Richardson. Here comes Sha'Carri! Richardson's going to Tokyo! Scorching her competition in the Olympic trial finals. A sure bet to join the U.S. Olympic team in Tokyo this year, it was her flair, energy, and mind-blowing performances at the trials that won the hearts of Americans across the country.
Yeah, I am an Olympian. A dream since I've been young.
The Tokyo Olympics slated to start just this month, with Richardson ready to be one of the newest faces of Team USA. But all that came to a screeching halt.
The U.S. Olympic track star Sha'Carri Richardson suspended for a month after testing positive for marijuana.
97. The track star's road to Olympic glory completely upended after testing positive for marijuana. The World Anti-Doping Agency sidelining Richardson for 30 days, voiding her trial times and making it so she could not compete in the Olympics. This weekend, Richardson tweeting, "I'm sorry, I can't be all Olympic champ this year, but I promise I'll be your world champ next year." Richardson revealing on NBC she'd smoked the substance to help cope with her mother's passing.
Don't judge me because I am human. I'm you. I just happen to run a little faster.
While the WADA suspension gave way for the possibility of Richardson at least being able to compete in the 4x100 relay, USATF recently announcing that Richardson would not be able to compete there either, citing their sympathies and understanding for Richardson's situation, but highlighting that they must maintain fairness for all the athletes. The suspension igniting an outpouring of support for the young star. Athletes from all sports exclaiming to let Richardson run, while others said the penalty was fair.
Look, the rules are the rules, and everybody knows that the rules were going in. Whether they should remain that should remain the rules, a different issue. But the rules are rules, and I was really proud of her.
It's the latest debate in a nation where attitudes around marijuana use are drastically shifting, with 91% of Americans saying marijuana should be legal for medicinal or recreational use. Now it seems the American public is at odds with international standards of competition, and everyone seems to be taking sides. Even Democratic reps AOC and Jamie Raskin sending a letter asking USADA to reconsider the ban. Now, as America's fastest woman remains benched ahead of the world's biggest competition, the public is left wondering how in 2021, cannabis use could still crush somebody's dreams.
Cannabis does not pose a risk to public health. The CDC has determined that 80,000 Americans die every year from alcoholism. Not one American has ever died from cannabis. Yet, WADA and the Olympic Anti-Doping Committee has no problem with athletes using alcohol.
Richardson used marijuana in Oregon, where the drug is legal, one of at least 18 states to have fully legalized cannabis. And activists like Stephen Hawkins of the Marijuana Policy Project argue the substance is not performance enhancing, and the rules prohibiting it are outdated.
People do not see cannabis as a performance enhancing drug, which is the reason for her suspension, or one of the purported reasons. We are in a country now where almost 40% of the states have legalized cannabis, compared to the time when the World Anti-Doping laws were first written around cannabis, which at that point, not one state had legalized. So the World Anti-Doping Authority, the US Anti-Doping Authority, their view on cannabis is moralistic, it's anachronistic, and it needs to change.
For Richardson, it's a catastrophic downfall after such a meteoric rise. Known for her flair, those nails and orange hair, that's got her running on fire. The 21-year-old from Dallas, who is known for breaking national records while a freshman at LSU,
wins the front end of the double.
Eventually dubbed herself that girl, will have her dreams deferred as a result of marijuana, forcing her to wait 3 more years before another shot at gold. Richardson is one of 4 elite American runners missing the games due to drug violations. But activists are hopeful she'll be one of the last athletes to suffer the consequences of her cannabis use, and possibly the start of a sea change around marijuana use in athletics.
My sense is the Sha'Carri Richardson story is that watershed moment that may take the marijuana and pot off the ban list eventually. But I think one important point throughout this whole thing is that we need to keep in mind that this is not a US decision. This is a world anti-doping decision. It's a worldwide decision, and there's a lot of disparity about whether marijuana should be allowed or not.
When we look at professional sports, we have seen the NFL change its policy. We've seen the National Basketball Association take a very different view. So the Olympic Committee is stuck in the past.
Either way, Sha'Carri Richardson isn't passing the blame to anyone else, accepting responsibility for her actions. And while she'll continue to cheer on her teammates in Tokyo this August, experts seem confident that this is just the beginning for her.
The structure of our Olympic programs around the world, I think they need to be much more understanding of the pressures of the athletes, especially in the 21st century. It's so different from what it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I think that these organizations need to change with the times so that we don't lose the Sha'Carri Richardsons in the shuffle, but instead can celebrate them and put them on the pedestal where they belong.
There you have it, people. Before we get into opinions, the phone line's open, 515-602-9602. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I sent out some invites for anybody that would like to give their take on it after I speak to my esteemed panel of guests we have in the building. All right, let's talk about it. I'm gonna start with you first, TJ the Prodigy. What's your take on marijuana and sports?
Well, with me being a CBD user myself, I proudly take the CBD gummies as it's a couple variety. I'm trying this right now, but it's a few others. I know you don't really do the promotional thing, but yeah.
Yeah, no
So I'm a
promotions,
CBD
please. No
user.
promotions. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, because you are right. They don't cut us no checks. So
Facts.
yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
So I take CBD myself, and marijuana is a plant. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a plant.
Yep.
Even a coca leaf, cocaine was a plant before they. It's nothing's bad until you add chemicals to it. It all comes from the ground. It's water, sunlight, minerals. That's all it is. So I think it's nonsensical for any athlete, irrespective of color. But we already know they have a bias against minority athletes, specifically black athletes. They get punished worse if they get caught with anything. We don't get second chances more times than not. But I mean, I don't have no issue with an athlete taking any type of marijuana as long as it doesn't impair their performance or they don't become borderline addiction. No issues with me whatsoever. And it's actually CBD actually elongates athletes' careers. And I'm
Okay.
surprised there's not a lot of light shed on that. You recover. It makes you feel no pain. I take it before I lift weights all the time. It's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. So yeah, no issue with me with the marijuana at all. It's just all political at this point.
Okay. All right. Got you, TJ. All right. Hang on. Now, let me see. Let me get to Coach. Coach Todd, you in the building? You hear me?
Yeah.
What's your take on this, brother?
To me, the issue is, and this is something that I do. If anybody's not aware, coaches do talk to each other about this stuff. And I have had a lot of discussions with, but to me, the issue isn't so much her punishment as it is whether or not it should even still be a rule.
Okay.
And as we heard in the piece, and I think the three of us are probably in agreement that it shouldn't be illegal. It shouldn't be a banned substance. I mean, you tell me, when the last time you ever saw somebody high run fast, right? So how's it going to be a performance enhancer? So that's that is, to me, the big deal. Now, as far as her case itself, you know, I kind of agree 100% with what Sleepy Joe said. Like, all right, she did it. The rules are the rules, and what I would add to it is, it's not like she didn't know, right?
Okay.
It's not like she didn't know, yo, I can't smoke this, or I'm going to be positive, and get, So I get that. Now, should this even be an issue? No, it is. She got caught. You do the crime, you do the time. That is what it is. But the real discussion to me is around whether or not it should have happened in the first place. Clearly, the rules have to change.
Copy. I hear that. No doubt. Now, hang with me, Coach. Hang on one second. I have Rochelle Smith in the building. What's up, Rochelle? How's everything? Hang on. Let me
All is well.
All right. Thank you for joining us. What's your take on the situation?
I think, like Coach said, she knew the rules. But here's my issue is that where she was using, it's legal. Okay? She wasn't using it in illegal spaces or illegal places. I also feel like you have to understand she's 21. All of us have made detrimental, life-altering choices at 21. Faced with the death of her mother, whether she had a relationship with her or not, that is neither our business here nor there. But for a 21-year-old at her level to all of a sudden lose her biological mother and be under the kind of spotlight and microscope that she was under, how else do you expect her to cope? Those of us who don't have that microscope can't cope with that kind of pressure. On top of the fact that I understand rules are rules, but athletes have been dropping dirty for anabolic steroids, growth serum, all types of stuff. They have committed crimes while in foreign territory. They have been caught using when it was illicit. Ask Michael Phelps, how come he hasn't been censured or suspended or had his medals taken?
We're gonna get into him next. Actually, perfect timing. You know what? That's a perfect segue.
So I'm saying if she was suspended and given time to get clean and it's gonna be that, then why does it have to be this in the US? You know what I'm saying? Let her take her punishment and still let her compete. You know, she's already been suspended. They're giving her time to get clean. Why would the US officials be this harsh when she's already being censured and suspended?
Okay, copy. I hear your take. I got you. So, all right, hang with us now. Hang with us for a second. Now, she mentioned it interesting. She mentioned, excuse me. She mentioned Michael Phelps. Now, right now, he do you guys for anyone listening out there, Michael Phelps is Olympic swimmer, gold medalist, right? He actually was photographed um hitting the weed, right?
Stay off the weed.
He was photographed with the weed, right? I don't know if he was if because I don't have this information in front of me, and I should have come a little more prepared with it, right? But from what I recall, now I want you guys to correct me if I'm wrong. He was I'm gonna open these mics back up also for you, TJ and Coach, right? Interrupt me when necessary and correct me when I'm wrong. He was suspended actually for more than, from what I recall, for I think it was 4 months or something to that effect. Of course, he lost millions and millions of dollars in endorsements and endorsement deals, right? Because of the weed, right? If you guys listened closely to what I was saying in the beginning of the show, I said THC, performance enhancers or unenhancers. I would figure that the weed slows you down, if anything, right? So I don't think that you would take a few hits before the game or before the match or before the meet. You understand what I'm saying? I'm thinking that's more so on your recreational time, you know, when you off work or whatever. But
Can
now,
I
go ahead.
interrupt 1 second?
Go ahead, Coach. Jump in. Go for it.
The argument, and I just want to lay this out for people, where these athletic organizations come in now, even though I disagree, the argument for calling, just so everyone knows, the argument for calling weed a performance enhancer is that it aids in recovery, quote unquote, which, you know, y'all can all do with that what you want. I'm just letting you know what the reasoning is behind it. So I just thought everyone should know that's why they call it a performance enhancer.
Right. And Smo, let me just add that to what he just said there. Actually, I hear a couple of y'all saying that you'll think it'll slow you down. That's true for a general strain of weed, but they make weed now where it's different strains of it, where if you take some will wake you up. I think it's called, I forget what is it indica or I forget which one it is, either indica or
It's the sativa. It's the sativa.
it wakes you up. It's
Yeah.
a stimulant actually. So some people will take that strain and it will wake you up or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just want to add that in. I'm not a big weed person, but I have friends that are. I'm only cigars mainly, but I know weed. It's a plant. You know what I mean? And so how bad could it really be if it comes from the ground?
So instead of so fuck that Red Bull. Let me just roll up some sativa instead. That's when I want to wake up. So I can wake up and chill out at the same time. So the Michael Phelps, yeah. So from what I'm understanding, he was punished. You know, Rochelle, I'm from what I'm understanding, he was punished as well. There was also another notable. Let me pull her up. She was another. Where's she at? Give me a second here. I'm sorry about that, guys. What her name was? Or not was. Her name is. Where's this shit at? Slow. It's Friday. I need some sativa. Speed me up a bit. Sativa would make me faster right now when I'm doing this shit, right? This was also if you look at the thumbnail right here, this is another her name is Shelby Houlihan. Now she tested positive for steroids, right? Performance enhancement drugs, not marijuana. So from what I'm understanding that at first people thought that she was the one pictured right here, she was at first they thought it was marijuana that she tested because she also had became disqualified to compete in a competition as well. because she tested positive. How do you guys feel about the one last question, one last round? Coach, how do you feel about the juice, bro? Roids, man. Let's roid up. Let's get the edge. Like how you feel
Well,
about motherfuckers juicing? What's good with that?
I I have been an advocate of having different competitions.
Okay.
If
Explain that.
if you
Explain
want to
that.
have,
Mhm.
if you want to have a clean and dirty category, I'm good with that. Like, so I've always kind of felt like, why don't we just do that? If people want to be dirty, we can have, you can have a league where, yeah, it's okay to be dirty.
So we talking fucking dirty Olympics?
Well, I mean, just in general. I
Dirty
mean, well, they do it in bodybuilding.
Oh,
They
really?
have
Explain this, break
clean
it down, bro.
competitions and they
Really?
have regular competitions.
Really?
So, I wouldn't have a problem with that if they had a competition where, all right, well, there ain't no rules. Obviously, it wouldn't be the Olympics,
Dirty
but
Olympics.
no, I mean, obviously, I don't, weed and steroids, two different things. I don't want people using steroids. That should not be legal. So, I mean, we know the what am I trying to say? We know the bad things that come from that. Whereas we're not talking about anything but benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the health risks of steroids and all of that. And I agree with what I heard in the piece where somebody said, I mean, who show me the person that's died from overconsumption of weed. Right? So now steroids we know can kill you. So that's why it's different. So the steroids, no. Weed, yes. Steroids, no.
Copy. All right. Thank you, sir. Hang tight. See what you got on this, big brother.
I'll let ladies go first. She ain't spoken in a while, so she can go first. Then I can go last, if that's okay with you.
How do you feel about performance enhancement drugs, Rochelle? As far as steroids, guys,
Um,
athletes
I was
juicing up.
just ready to say, as a former athlete,
Thank you,
I am
T.
I am I am a '70s baby. I was a swimmer in the '90s, back before we had Simone Manuel, and I was competing against white girls who were using steroids. So I have a different attitude. I know that it changes things, it makes them bigger, makes them stronger, more muscle. I don't think it's fair. What I was putting in the comments was what Coach said was actually a good, interesting concept. I didn't know that there were clean and dirty competitions. That might be a way for trans athletes to compete on a more level playing ground. You know what I mean?
Facts. As far as transgender athletes,
Yes.
like in a dirty, just like because it's like because
Yes.
they're
If you
boundary.
let them compete, in the dirty, that's not saying that they're dirty, but but if you are born physically a man and you're identifying or have had surgery to look like a woman and want to compete, that would be an avenue for you to compete on a more even playing ground.
Facts. That's an excellent point you bring up there, Rochelle. Excellent point. And for those that didn't hear that, I'll reiterate this, and when I repeat it, correct me if I misquote you. Now, it's possibly a better idea for the transgender athletes to compete in what we would call a quote unquote dirty league or juiced league, right? Because they are born with a physical advantage, being born a man. But if you identify as a woman, right? I don't feel it is fair that the transgender men turned women are competing with the women, right? Because do you ever
No, because they're not women.
exactly? But let me ask you another question on the flip side: how many women transgender converted to men do you see playing in men competitions, right?
I think the dirty league would give both trans men and trans women a more level playing ground, and to let a trans man see where his level actually is.
Facts, because the numbers are fudged when you're playing against natural born women. Basically, what you're saying, right? I don't mean to misquote you. That there's a physical advantage for the transgender men that identify as women. That's what you're saying, basically. I don't want to misquote you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And I
exactly.
feel like if you're a trans man
Mhm.
and you want to see, you know, where you stand up against the man, and because okay, the quote unquote dirty league has men who are enhanced, and you are a trans man, that will give you a better understanding of what your physicality actually is.
Facts. Got you. What you think about that, TJ the Prodigy?
A lot of interesting points being made here today, and I definitely agree with her as far as the trans.
And go down to the
What?
trans. Cover it all. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So it was a lot of good points made here today, especially with the trans thing that you said, because that's a big issue with me as far as we talk all this stuff about equality and all that type of stuff. But Fallon Fox, who was a man that transitioned to a woman in UFC, he beating up women. You know what I mean? Like he's literally like, yeah. Now, one female athlete did defeat him, but overall, it's a disadvantage to biological women to be fighting a man that was, now a woman that transitions to a woman, fighting a male who still has the biology of a man. We already know men are stronger than women, biologically speaking. Ashley Evans Smith did defeat him. However, that's one person. Prior to that, he was like mauling these women, like you can see it. So that's an issue. So I agree with that they need their own league. As far as like it being dirty Olympics, I know I didn't find that out until I heard Mark Henry have an interview with Vlad TV, former Olympian Mark Henry, 1992 World's Strongest Man, also the 1996 Atlanta Games, part of my fraternity, professional wrestling. He spoke about them having dirty powerlifting leagues where they take steroids, everybody know that, and they lift. Mark Henry always was like, nah, I want to do it the natural way, so I'm not going to enter those leagues. So I thought he was just talking nonsense, but apparently it was confirmed today that those type of leagues are true. As far as what was the first thing that you opened up with? Because we branched off to so many different. What was the original statement that you wanted me to respond to?
Even before because it branched into trans, but also just as far as performance enhancements, performance enhancers being taken by athletes in general. That was
Okay.
the original part of it. Go for it.
So I'm against it if it's going to be used as a disadvantage, but I also know that steroids are used for a variety of reasons. I'm all for the part that it helps you recover, but the only steroids I agree with if you're using them for competition, like if you're in like a what's it called? When you're doing it for the look, for the physique, not powerlifting, but what is it called?
Maybe like a show or something. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar
when
with
you're doing a little show, bodybuilding contest. Not when you're using it for your power, but for the looks, the aesthetic part. I'm okay with that, and also for the recovery. When you're using it to compete and it's giving you an advantage against other athletes, that's where it's a problem for me. So, in other words, like in the professional wrestling business, it's a lot of arguing about whether Brock Lesnar should get banned for using steroids. We already know he used it. He got disqualified from his 2016 victory over Mark Hunt when he returned after 5 years of layoff. He got disqualified because they found PEDs in the system. So Vince was under scrutiny a couple months later. They was like, why don't you test this guy? And he made the argument of, okay, we're staged. Do y'all know that? And any other time y'all will be talking about all this fake and this and that. This is not a real sport, so why does it really matter? We're a cosmetic business, which I agree. If you're using it just for cosmetic purposes and aesthetics, I don't have a problem with it. But when you use it as far as an edge to compete, obviously that's a problem because that's almost you basically cheating. So that's where the issue is with me.
Copy. Got you, T. Got you. And these are opinions coming from former athletes and current athletes and a coach as well. So they're giving a pretty much a clean, unbiased opinion on everything. Just letting you know, me myself, I was not a former athlete on any of the levels as these individuals were. Know that I coach, so that's why I wanted to kind of bring in people that had a little had a little skin in the game, as I should say. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that had a little skin in the game. Pretty much. I mean, in closing, basically, I want to just thank everybody for coming in and joining us. This is a pretty moderate episode. I just kind of wanted to get a few takes on this situation, from athletic standpoint and coaching standpoint. So we're gonna walk everybody up out of here nice and easy. Rochelle, where can we get at you on social media or anything of that nature? Give us your outlets, info, anything.
Okay, I am at Starchild226 on IG. I am Rochelle Smith. I'm currently in Dallas on Facebook. I don't really have a platform. I am a personal friend of Shannon McFall. Most of you know him as Freeman Media or the Village Voice. You see me in there a lot of the time. I'm working again a lot, so I'm kind of in and out. But when I catch Sunday Night Smoke or I catch him, I usually try to at least log in and say, well, hello, put a few comments in. Me and Sunday Night Smoke had did a podcast about child support, but my connection got lost and I couldn't get back in. So, but that's where you can find me at.
All right. Thank you for pulling up, Rochelle Smith. Thank you very much. Catch you around the circuit. Thanks once again, everybody. That was Miss Rochelle Smith, TJ the Prodigy. Roll us up out of here, brother. Where can we talk? Give us some information on your shows, your streams, what you're doing on your channel, all that good stuff.
Sure. Well, you can catch me two places. Almost all my content you can find on Twitter at TJ the Prodigy. That's my brand name. So you type that in on Instagram, wherever, you'll find me. And it's DA Prodigy, not THE, TJ the Prodigy, DA. So if you type that in, you'll find me on here, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. So as far as my content, on Saturday, Mondays, and Wednesdays, me and my guest host from the Bronx, JoJo, we have a hybrid pro wrestling MMA show. So you'll catch us, and we're usually on 8 p.m. Central Time, generally speaking, around 8 p.m. Central Time. And our shows are lengthy on those days. They're between 3 and 4 hours, but that's because we cover a lot of content. We also have, call-ins from certain people. We're very active in the chat. And then other days, we have a litany of topics. Tuesdays and Sundays, we do a movie viewing. Smoke was on here laughing at me, talking about what you know about the Toxic Avenger when I was born in the 90s. So we got movies on Sundays and Tuesdays. We do, I was talking to Rochelle about this, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we do what I call the community circle, where we'll take a hot button topic at the time, usually social justice stuff, and we'll break that down. Tuesdays, we allow for the men. So the coach, if you would like to call in, I'd love to have you on that. And Wednesday, we do the ladies with my guest host, Gabrielle. She's out of Missouri. She does the stones and all the tarot card reading and all that. She's getting me into all that spiritual stuff. So we'll cover that. And only day is, honestly, I'm really off is Thursday. Because Fridays, like today, you'll see me hop on somebody's stuff or something like that a few Fridays a month. But if you log on, more than likely, you'll see me doing something. Like I said, I transform more into Joe Rogan, a black Joe Rogan, so to speak, where we just talk about whatever's interesting to me that day. So my pro wrestling is my backdrop, but I'm interested in a lot of different topics, and I used to teach, so I teach certain stuff on here sometimes. So thanks, Smoke, for the platform, man, as always.
My man, that's TJ the Prodigy, y'all. Coach, you're back in the building. You may have missed TJ, you still here? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm still here. I ain't went nowhere.
Okay, TJ,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
I don't know if you missed that. Were you your camera was off for a second, but were you still tuned in?
Something wrong with his audio too.
Yeah, your audio, Coach Todd, your audio was I see your video, but your audio is, I hear a little feedback. You press something. I'm just trying to plug back up with the coach real quick. So while the coach is working on that audio, okay, hang tight for 1 second, T. Coach, you he's working on that audio thing for 1 second. I see you, but I can't hear you actually. But I just want to say, because I didn't actually get my quick take at this. My quick take on this is I have to agree with brother Stephen A. Smith when it comes to this. At some point, you just gotta
stay off the weed. It's stay off the weed. And you can't stay off the weed He ain't getting busted for using weed. Stays off the weed. You couldn't stay off the weed. Stay off the damn weed. And they
This
don't
shit is a famous
listen.
soundbite. I'm sorry.
Stupid. Sit there and stay on the weed. What's next? I don't know. Codeine, weed, alcohol. What's next? What's next?
Oh man, nah, I always get a
You
laugh.
are so incredibly silly.
Nah, I always get a laugh at that. Coach, were you able to work your audio back in the game, coach? Where you at, Playboy? Let me see if I'm able to pull the coach back up. If not, no, he went back out again. But well, I'll shout you out. Well, thanks again. Last but not least, sorry he's dropped out. Maybe we having a little audio difficulties with him. But Coach Todd Bascom in the building. Coaches youth soccer. Also coaches youth hockey, AAU, I believe. Thanks for pulling up, Coach. It's always a pleasure. And like I said, one more time, Rochelle, TJ the Prodigy, Coach Todd, thanks for pulling up. This has been another exciting episode of Secondhand Smoke. I'm your host, Ace World. We pull up on Fridays, 5 p.m. This is what we do. You heard? So on that note, we out of here. And you already know what this is.
This
Where there's fire, there will always be smoke. Don't forget it. Please join us Sunday, 12 noon, for Sunday noon smoke, actually.
Oceanside.
And we will be doing a show called Sister Act. So check us out Sunday noon, Eastern time. Thanks for pulling up. Thanks to everybody in the chat. T. Roney, Ted Hicks. Thanks guys for pulling up. We'll catch you next time out. Peace.